there's a lot of pat builds. You can bring in a lot of things coming into the series. But what is certain here in the draft is Greg is now being locked in by FENNEL University as it was left open. LAKAN Esports is going to do the same thing with Corky and Galio picked away.
And it's a Kaisa ban too, so this is very interesting. So I was about to bring this up. If Rengar is not alive, or rather available, why not pick up the Kha'Zix? It's an assassin. It does the job right. He can dive into the back line and basically be unspotted and just head straight to Ison. Now, the Ezreal. Very curious to see what Danny's gonna plan for this build. Galio again in the hands of Lakan. And this is a Wukong that we usually see get paired with Galio, so wouldn't be surprised if that is indeed the case as their jungler.
LAKAN Esports, master of adjustments, banning it with a Kaisa. They understand that FENNEL University is really capable of doing this. So now they picked away the Ahri as well, left Shaw onto the Orianna instead of picking the Ahri for their team. So a lot of adjustments. Riven gonna be the last pick for LAKAN Esports, and I'm expecting to for Shaw to make this a duelist Orianna, as we saw on day number 1 once again.
Yeah, it could be. Like the build isn't exactly like duelist, but it did the job right. And it's the exact same matchup too with that 1v1 that happened. It was an Orianna versus Corky, and the level 5, level 6 worked out so well in favor of Shaw. So, but it is not going to be a mid lane Corky. It is going to be, of course, that AD carry Corky. Now, Tante is back in the Riven. So I am excited to see his performance, because he pretty much set the bar on the Riven performances in fall season, because so far the Rivens in the at least from last week weren't exactly the best, weren't exactly didn't have the time to shine, but it's different when Tante uses it so far.
And it's a Rafi support Gragas. This is an interesting take. Singe also as well, but I think Singe is a great counter onto Tante, because when you go for the Mega Adhesive, this really hinders Tante to go for the mobile skills onto just spamming out the second skill, spamming out the W, and go for the R, go for the Q. And I think it's a matter of adjusting right now for FENNEL University.
I agree with you. There's just so many mobility dashes from Wukong, Ahri, Valkyrie as well from the Corky, and as well as the Justice Punch coming from the side of Arjuk. So it is a lot of value being acquired on this Singed pick, and I'm so excited to see how they can execute this, because the last time I believe we saw a Singed was in Singed in the dual lane, I believe.
Yeah, it's Singe Senna. That was the last time we saw it. But Senna being banned away constantly, day 1, day 2, it is really just that strong. Because Senna, with the new items as well, benefited with the grudge that can come up on this game is just too much, because it gives you crit rate, and every crit rate that you do in your normal attacks decreases the amount of CD that your first, second, and third skill will do. So I think that's just too much to handle, and Senna Infinite Scaling really it's just a traditional type of setup, because it's just so strong.
I can imagine Avoris will come up in... I'm actually curious, because we never got to see an Ezreal before in the... Well, we've managed to, but not necessarily new builds just yet. Meanwhile, a potential gank.
Boy J coming on top, trying to get the kill here. Power will flash away, and the LAKAN Esports is happy with it, with a spell advantage coming in.
Now that spells trouble. Power, just as you mentioned, no summoner spells already, so Boy J and Tante can possibly make a second visit, but as we can see now, FENNEL Adversity is just gonna steal that blue buff. We'll see if Boy J will decide to exchange as well, but kind of a little bit difficult here. It will depend if Dedenne and as well as Tante get priority in the lane.
Right, and it's Shaw versus Dedenne, Ahri versus Orianna. Traditionally, this is not exactly the best matchup in the early game, because you have a lot of range. So they're not really going to be peeling or poking each other in that early stages. They can damage each other, but not to the point where if there's no teammates supporting, there's going to be a kill. So right now, we're looking at a very silent game, 0-0 for now, 2 minutes and 45 seconds in. And I think in 3-minute mark, 3 minutes and 30, that is where everything will go down. As right now, it's LAKAN Esports starting it up. Boy J comes in with a Cyclone in, but that's going to be the knock up as well. Damen comes in to go for the support for his teammate. Power will still stay alive. No first blood in this game.
Yeah, still none so far, even though Power doesn't have any summoner spells. He is still pretty tanky. It's still a pretty tanky Singed versus Tante and Boy J just trying to funnel in their I think it's more of Power being very safe and aware that he doesn't have any summoner spells, so I bet they're gonna keep visiting me. So I'm not gonna overextend and make sure that I'm safe.
Yeah, and he understands that he's on the weak side of the map, but now it's LAKAN Esports going for the charm onto the mid lane. Shaw is going to fall down 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and that will be the first blood for LAKAN Esports.
He came to play. He carried Electrocute and Ignite. It's not like the Ari we saw, I believe, the last game from Shaw. It was on a Conqueror, but now he definitely aimed to kill. Shaw, on the other hand, is on a Ghost, so it's not the flash barrier. So he will definitely not survive one sequence of skills coming from an Ari on Dedenne.
No defensive item, no defensive summoner. So right now it just states that for LAKAN Esports to bring in. That was so clever for them. But now they're still looking for more as they go an aggressive type of presence in the mid lane to then go for the Cloud Dragon that is currently available.
We'll see now what the choice is, because FENNEL seems to be putting importance on this Air Drake as well, or they're using the Air Drake to find low health targets for Doming to finish off. Again, the ball delivery system is there. The invisible ball. It's not the Reng ball. It's not the Rengar ball or the cat ball. It's the
Special delivery.
Ball?
Comes in on top hill. That's indeed a cockroach coming in, and that's a true shot barrage. A lot of damage from FENNEL Adversity, and that will take the trade off. No more Tante in this fight. LAKAN Esports will be forced to back away, and FENNEL Adversity has the opportunity to go for the Cloud Dragon.
And that is -1, a 4v5 situation. We'll have to see if LAKAN can recover from this. Looks like that's going to be a no.
Yeah, they got a Cloud Dragon for free. That's a huge member advantage for a FENNEL Adversity that really don't want LAKAN Esports to get the contest in. But I do commend, though, the information game that they're playing around the Dragon's Pit. You have like 4 wards coming in.
That's a lot. That's a lot of vision. And I think it's just a little bit of mispositioning from Tante. He kind of went back to the battle, even though the rest of LAKAN pretty much wanted to call it quits on that fight. Now, we talked about this yesterday. Whoever wins the Dragon can immediately try and reset, possibly, and then get the Rift Herald. Or not reset, or head straight to the Rift Herald. But FENNEL Adversity were pretty much low, and now LAKAN can possibly contest this objective as well.
Yeah, they have the potential to do so. Boy J has the smite in, but no ultimates thus far. FENNEL Adversity can utilize that as well if they want to go for it, as Dameng Kha'Zix is a stealthy type of champion that can really just dive in, get the Rift Herald in, back away. But they're opting to back away for now. They don't want to really just force out the Rift Herald because LAKAN Esports has a lot of potential to punish.
They do. They have the Galio taunt. If Doming comes in, he's going to get greeted by a taunt. Or Tante, if he doesn't dive into the backline of FENNEL, then he can activate his easy stun if Doming is nearby. And now it is going to be another protect the carry, I suppose, in this scenario with their 5v5. But look at Tante and as well as Dedenne. They're trying to be the guardians of the mid lane for now.
Yeah, it's Guardians of the Rift. It's not Guardians of the Galaxy here in FENNEL Adversity versus LAKAN Esports. But we saw right now the show of respect from FENNEL and LAKAN Esports. They're not getting into the Rift Herald with no kills done. Because if 5v5 occurs, that's going to stay death sentence for any of these two teams. And it's a 50-50 type of situation because no one has gotten that first blood yet. The kills are even 1-for-1. And pretty much, I think this is just too much to handle. So they're playing it very safe. They're playing it very slow. Who gets the kill first will get the Rift Herald.
I agree with you there. There's just so much work that can be done. The shockwave that can be game-changing. And now they're starting the Rift Herald.
Yeah, LAKAN Esports will start this off. Is the question here, can they take it alive? 1.6k HP for Shelly. That's going to be LAKAN Esports taking it home with the hero's entrance from Galio zoning out the enemy team. Singe goes for the knockup as well. That's going to be an extra kill, but no, Tante will survive. It's still going to be a 5v4 though in favor of FENNEL Adversity. If this does so happen, Galio will hex flash over the ball. He's trying to go back away. Denine with the micro plays will get the kill down, and now they're overextending. FENNEL Adversity will take the trade-off happen. It's gonna be a 2-for-1 though. LAKAN Esports will take the lead.
I think that was a double man big shot, or big one rather, from Isen. I mean, he was running out of mana, and that's the reason why they couldn't push further with that fight. So we decided to just, LAKAN basically just wanted to call it quits. But it's starting again. 2 kills, double kill already for Isen, and this could potentially balloon up. And look at that, Triforce already completed for this Corki. And in the meantime, Danny is still on his way for his Triforce as well, but he's gonna wait for his first item to stack first, for that first item to be fully relevant.
And you talked about mana.
There it is. There it
right.
is. Never mind.
You talked about mana, right? And I think that's the problem without having a Maramune or a Manamune for a Corgi. But here in this game, Wild Rift is just so fast-paced. Once you get the kill, once you win a team fight, you go back into the base to then go for the next objective. And I think that is what LAKAN Esports is doing. You saw the Rift Herald. Corki got the Rift Herald. He went back, got the kill then, and then went back away into the fountain to then go back into sort of pressuring against FENNEL Adversity. But now, FENNEL Adversity is not stopping. They want to go for the aggressive push. Infernal Dragon will come into their team though. LAKAN Esports will go for 3-man taunt, but he will be pinned down. With Galio down away, LAKAN Esports cannot have the opportunity to push this through, and they're gonna lose 1 against FENNEL Adversity.
They weren't even able to utilize. They want to fight.
2-shot barrage will deal off damage onto Tante. Tante will fall down. Another killer for FENNEL Adversity, but now it's gonna be the Wukong coming into the backside with a flank in Cyclone. Go for the 5-man knockup, clears out the waves. They're happy with it.
It is a denial of the mid lane turret take first. FENNEL removing the Rift Herald, denying the maximum potential and usability of that objective away from LAKAN. And FENNEL's response is, we want to push the tower, maybe get a kill, but it's only one sacrifice. Tante sacrifice, rather. And they save the tower, and they're able to reset. But it doesn't change the fact that FENNEL Adversity has the Infernal Drake. The big damage boost coming in, it is so needed. And Doming's gonna hurt so much on this Kha'Zix.
And in addition to that one, Cloud Dragon is in their favor as well. Which means the roaming game is in favor for FENNEL Adversity. They have the mobility, they have the damage, and typically when that happens, it's just too much when it comes to those ganks, when it comes to those team fights. In favor for FENNEL Adversity right now is the pressure in mid lane, but the minions was cleared down by Ari, so they were forced back away once again.
Yeah, good news for LAKAN. They do have a pretty good wave clear. Look at Tante though, split pushing. I don't think he'll get caught out here.
Power, Mega Adhesive, that's gonna be flash in. Knock off for Singe. That will secure the kill.
Baron?
They're gonna start it up, but
they decided to not take the risk. I mean, there was Raffi in the mid lane as well, so it could have ended disastrous in Danny. And now for LAKAN, this is going to be another defense game. A little bit of good news, they have decent amount of wave clear with the Orb of Deception and as well as the AoEs from the Corki.
That's going to be Shockwave though. Detonate will force it through. That's a tier 1 turret for FENNEL Adversity taken down in mid lane. Detonate almost with inches of depth there with a charm.
Yeah, it is. Could have been a 1 kill in exchange of the tower take, I suppose. But that is the... Oh, dear!
Explosive cast, that was massive, bringing in Boy J. That removes the jungle for LAKAN Esports, which means FENNEL Adversity has the advantage.
That is 20 seconds on the clock without the jungler. Look at Isen. He's lurking around. No, he's spotted by a ward. I don't think they can take this. Or rather, I don't think LAKAN can deny this. We'll have to see. Maybe at the Denny steal.
Is this going to be a magical play? No. It's a FENNEL Adversity taking the Baron Nashor in. That's going to be the 1v1. Tante right now is trying to go for the flank, but he's not going to do so. That's going to be jump away for himself as they are lacking a member to go for the team fight.
What a play. They were able to catch Boy J, and then it is basically a free Baron for FENNEL Adversity. They're getting all these objectives, and now it's a clear picture why LAKAN wanted to ban all the assassins. Maybe not a jungle Akali, but the Camille, and as well as the Rengar. And of course, what's the next best thing? It is the Kha'Zix, and Doming is being very incredibly massive on this champion. And now we'll get to see the first tier tower at topside getting taken down, and Baron buff getting maximized. 20 seconds on the clock for the Mountain Drake. But LAKAN, they gotta defend their base, or else they're gonna get a lot of open spaces in their map.
Right, and FENNEL University is not yet done. They're pressuring in top lane, and I think pretty much this will be already secured because LAKAN Esports 5-man roam into mid-sided map where no one is actually going for the defense. But now, the charm will take in. Singe will fall down. That's going to be the member advantage for LAKAN Esports coming in. True Shot Barrage, a lot of damage in. Boy J will survive though. And FENNEL University will not get the trade-off in.
And they're not able to secure, or rather, get an exchange kill.
TPs are now coming through from Boy J to go in response for this team fight that may potentially come through. LAKAN Esports is now coming in. That's going to be low HP for Galio. Galio will fall down. That's going to be the 4v4 right now. A lot of damage, but Boy J with the clone away, he will still survive. Master Dragon will be secured by FENNEL Adversity though. And they're happy with that Creed Dragon buffs. They're not going to continue on the team fight.
LAKAN is getting a taste of their own medicine. How does it feel not having backline access and only having to bank on flanks from Tande to get to Danny? I mean, they do have an Ahri, but I don't think it's going to be enough to consume all your Spirit Rush just to reach the backline. It is more on a positioning. Wait, whoa! Did Danny and Power bumped into each other, and they called a mini truce in that jungle.
Yeah, let's say peace. Wait for a minute. Let me go back into the base first before we go for a team fight once again. And pretty much Dedenne is safe, Power is safe. That's all what matters here right now for FENNEL University and LAKAN Esports.
Well, something to note though, Dedenne looks like kinda delayed the Rabadons for second item and now opting for the third Rabadons coming in. So I feel like after that item pickup, he is definitely gonna hurt even, he's gonna hurt now, like be more impactful and be more, is able to possibly catch Doming, maybe one combo Doming and Danny perhaps. It's just a matter of can he reach the backline, because it's so hard. You have a Gragas on your side, you have as well Power that's gonna make sure that he will bother you and make sure to keep an eye on you. So I think those are the immediate struggles why LAKAN can exactly utilize fully Dedenne's pick here on the Ahri and kill the primary targets.
Yeah, because Power can use the fling offensively and defensively. If one comes in to try and access backside, you have the fling to throw them back away. But now, they're using it for an offensive push. Galio with the ultimate hero sentence to go for the knock-up as well. That's going to be taunted onto two members of FENNEL Adversity, but they're not stopping. They take 2 kills. LAKAN Esports is down to 3 members left in this team fight, and FENNEL Adversity is on the lead, is on the sweep, and they're now looking for the Baron Nashor.
Yeah, no top laner, no jungler now. It is the Baron, a free Baron at that. LAKAN wants to try something here, though.
That's a 1v2, 1v3 to say the least. LAKAN Esports will try to take it down, but they have to consider that FENNEL University is just around the corner to go for the response. So they're respecting it, they're going back away, but Arjuk forced to flash away. That's pretty massive for FENNEL University.
Yeah, there's no flash out, and as well as that safety from Arjuk. And look, did you see the Orb of Deception not doing too much damage? I feel like a Void Staff is needed for the Dene to create like huge damage numbers on FENNEL Adversity. They're slowly building towards these MR items from FENNEL, and I feel like that's another added struggle for the Dene to find kills.
Right, it's because you have Abyssal Mask as sort of an armor resistance or magic resistance. Then you have Thimble Winter for Singe or for Rafi as well. So a lot of defensive capabilities that the Dene doesn't really have that option to deal so much damage, even if you build onto Luden's Ego, Infinity Orb, and a Rabdon stat cap. With that much magic resistance, it's just too much.
Yeah, it's still, you really have to wait most likely for that last item, maybe a Void Staff. And now, this is the defense. LAKAN are trying.
But the damage from power, though, it's too much for Tente to stay survive for a little bit longer. That's going to be the taunt from Gragas.
Wow.
And that will take the kill down. It's now going to 5v4. The stasis will be forced by Detonate, but it's not going to be enough to keep him alive. That's going to be the ace. That's going to be 5 kills. And FENNEL Adversity is going for the Nexus base. It's open. It's done. It's GG. And FENNEL